Hi, it's Steve. Today we're going to install a new mailbox, replacing this old one with a brand new one. It's a very simple project. Stick with me, we'll go through all the steps. So, let's get started. We'll start by removing the old mailbox off the post. Screws are usually down here and our post is in the ground. That's one. A couple more on this side. I think those are our 4 big nails, and the post should come off. So this post seemed to be installed properly. It's nice and strong. Now we'll just need to put our new post holder on top of this one. And pro tip, you might want to wrap this in some kind of plastic to keep it waterproof, because water will find a way to wick into the wood. We want that to stay strong. The new post came in plastic packaging, so that makes it easy. You'll notice there are a couple holes. You'll want to use the holes that are going to mount onto the post on the back. But as I mentioned before, we could use this paper to protect the post. So we'll just waterproof our post like that and just cut off what we don't need. Okay. There we go. Now we got our post installed. So now we'll attach the post permanently to the wooden post using those 2 screw holes on the back. These will go into these 2 spots. So let's pre-drill a couple holes for that. Sometimes when you're using a bolt driver, you'll need to adjust the setting to give yourself a little more power. Now before we close that, we're going to add a little bit of silicone sealer to the holes. Let's put the other bolt in first. So you want to put a little silicone sealer here to protect the hole from any water. This mailbox came with some. Put a little bit on there and a little bit down here. We can finish tightening these bolts. There you go. So for our next step, we're going to mount the 2 brackets that'll hold the mailbox up on each side using these 2 holes. Same thing, we'll put a little silicone sealer on the holes, put on our washer and our screws and do that to the other side as well. We can line these up. They're pretty short screws. We'll start one of them. We're not going to tighten these all the way because we're going to adjust the mailbox on top first. Just get them started a little bit. And we'll do the same for the other side. And here comes our new mailbox. This is going to sit right on top of those posts. Now we want to put some silicone sealer on those holes before we mount this. We'll apply a little bit of silicone sealer to those holes as well. Might get a better look at what this looks like here. And again, this is just meant to keep water from getting in these screw holes and weakening the structure over time. Mailboxes sit outside for a long time and take all the heat and cold. So where those 4 screw holes are, we're going to mount through the top of the mailbox. Here's a better look at that, and those 4 holes line up to the screw holes on the bottom, and we will mount them with the same screws that we used for the side. And we'll just hand thread them in through the top into those holes in the bracket. This takes a little bit of finessing because everything's moving, but you'll get it. Once you get a few, it'll be easier to do the rest. Having the silicone sealer be blue helps us too. We can see exactly where the hole is without trying to look at the contrast of black on black. All right, so if you're counting, that's 2. We have 2 more to do in the back. And then we'll hand tighten everything up. Three and the 4th one. It's always fun to do this in a neighborhood when your neighbors come home and whose mailbox is already mounted on their post. This is the same as our neighbors. How did I know? I took a peek. All right, so we'll tighten that with a screwdriver. If you're using an electric screwdriver, just go lightly. You don't need to over tighten these. Those are good. We'll come back and we'll tighten these ones on the side. probably see better on this side. I've had that on the loosest. I'll tighten it a little bit more. Make sure this thing isn't going anywhere. One last look in here. And we're almost done. Now, the reason we use these cup washers is so that we can cover them with a color-coded cap. And we just snap these guys on. Do the same on this side. And if you remember, down at the bottom of this post, where we did our first installation, we left those caps off so that the sealer would dry. Now it's time to just pop these guys on. Might need a little bit of a hammer to help encourage them to close. And there is one final step. Remember what that was? You're right. We need the final finial top. And we're done. That took us about an hour, maybe a little bit less. I call us finished for the day. I'm Steve, thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with a way to turn this mailbox into a digital mailbox. Keep watching. For this project, we're going to use Alarm.com's Flex.io. Now, I'll share a link in this video to another video we did on Flex.io. All I did here was spray paint this black, and we're going to use a different connection than we did last time. We're going to use these magnetic reed switches. Now, what's beautiful about this is we can connect one of these leads to the inside of the mailbox and the other to the mailbox door. And when that connection is made, or when the door opens, we'll get a signal through the cellular connection on Flex.io that that mailbox has opened. So the first thing we did is we drilled a hole into the back of the mailbox. That little hole in the back, I'll zoom in a little bit further, right there. The next step is to route the wires through the hole on the back side of the post, where we will mount the Flex.io with the wire side down using double back tape. So we'll take these wires and we'll route them through the hole, through the mailbox. Pull that through. Now, inside the mailbox, we'll want to mount this so that when we close the door, this magnetic reed touches that one. And we'll peel off this double back tape here. And we'll mount this to the unit here. Now, when we close the door, that should make magnetic contact. You can see how they will line up when we close it. We've routed the wires through the waterproof connector and made the connections here on the upper section. We'll now add the batteries. Follow the instructions for adding the batteries. And that should be all we need for the power. Next, we'll put the lid on. It's a small little screw. We just tighten this. And then we'll mount the Flex.io with the wires down through double back tape. And it'll look great like we did here. And we're done. We now have a beautiful mailbox with a digital sensor that tells you when mail has arrived, all powered over cellular via Alarm.com. Be sure you're safe with Alarm.com.
If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe.